Good afternoon and welcome to this Tuesday, October 30th edition of Westman Newsline. I'm Randy Joseph Lilly alongside Dylan Donald and Colton Yarich. In today's news, we'll bring you the latest chapter in the Manitoba Road Crew cutbacks debate and show you the impact Superstorm Sandy is having in the United States. And Dylan will be in with sports. Dylan, I understand Assiniboine Community College made a huge athletic announcement yesterday morning.
That's right, Randy. ACC has announced students will be able to play soccer as an extracurricular sport in the 2013-2014 season. I'll have that story and many more in later on in sports.
Thanks, Dylan. And Colton will be in with weather. Colton, I just got glasses on Friday and I'm already sick of my breath fogging them up. Will the temperatures warm up anytime soon, or do I just need to get used to the limited visibility?
Well, Randy, maybe tiny little windshield wipers could provide the solution to your problem. Seriously though, temperatures are going to be up and down over the next few days, so probably a handkerchief would come in handy. Currently in Brandon, it's 3 degrees with fog. There's a 60% chance we'll see some more showers later this afternoon. Wind is out of the east at 22, gusting to 37 kilometers per hour. I'll be back with all your weather details later on in the show.
Thanks, Colton. Winter hit Brandon yesterday morning, and it quickly became apparent a recent decision by Manitoba Infrastructure and Transportation to cut overnight shifts for road crews was as ill-conceived as was first thought. First Street was closed on the North Hill because it was so slippery vehicles couldn't climb the hill. Manitoba Infrastructure and Transportation had to search for crews to salt the road. Highway 10 South was also a problem, although the road was never closed. For 7 years, Big Brothers and Big Sisters have celebrated Halloween by putting together their popular haunted house. Newsline's Dylan Donald dropped by for a bit of a scare.
The 7th annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Haunted House has moved into the old Convergys building located on Princess Avenue. The haunted house is a chance to walk through the many scary rooms and also gives the volunteers who love the spirit of Halloween the chance to scare those going through. The event depends on volunteers to keep running year after year, and Rennie Burnway has been with it since the beginning.
7 or 8 of us that are really dedicated to getting rooms organized and what the rooms are going to be. And then there's a lot of high school kids, university students that just love this kind of stuff. So as far as the volunteers are concerned, they're quite happy to come along.
The Big Brothers Big Sisters Haunted House is a well-known and large event that requires the aid of volunteers to help make it possible. Carla Davidson is responsible for arranging the volunteers and assuring that everything runs as smoothly as possible, even though it can be a handful at times.
We've had just an overwhelming response, and a lot of kids working on their volunteer credits, and adults even who just want to come down and, terrify children going through.
The haunted house has roughly 40 volunteers throughout the 9 days, and tonight is the last night to go down and walk through, starting at 6 o'clock and running until 9. As well, Thursday, anyone who is interested can do a behind-the-scenes tour to see what it looks like with the lights on and what goes into putting the haunted house together. For Westman Newsline, with photographer Brandon Purdy, I'm Dylan Donald.
More people in Manitoba are using food banks, according to a new study being released today. And across the country, the number of Canadians depending on charity for food continues to grow. Food Banks Canada says more than 882,000 Canadians used a food bank this March, up 2.4% from the previous year. Alberta, Saskatchewan, Newfoundland and Labrador, Quebec, and the Territories all saw a decrease in food bank use between 2011 and 2012, with the biggest drop coming in Alberta. Manitoba and Prince Edward Island saw the biggest jumps in food bank use last year. And speaking of chicken feed or scratch, let's take a look at where today's money markets are currently sitting.
You're watching Westman Newsline, produced by the media production students of Assiniboine Community College. Local news, weather, and sports only on Westman Newsline, airing on WCG-TV at 1 p.m. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Superstorm Sandy lived up to its billing as it hit the northeastern U.S. The powerful weather system is blamed for at least 11 deaths, and it knocked out power to 5 million people. Ed Payne has the story.
This is the strongest we felt the winds so far.
Sandy slammed into the Jersey shore with 80-mile-an-hour winds. It came ashore near Atlantic City, battering the pier and flooding the boardwalk. Motorists across the region found themselves in high water. This woman was making her way to a shelter in Hackensack, New Jersey, when she had to be rescued.
I'm scared to death. So many people are going to die today.
The powerful storm kicked up the seas off Massachusetts, sending this dock house into the water. Despite the damage, Governor Deval Patrick is pleased with the way his state fared.
This team feels relieved that the impact has not been greater than it has been so far, and we're hopeful that we can contain it to the levels where it is right now and get everybody back to normal very soon.
New York had its share of damage. A crane at a luxury skyscraper under construction partially collapsed. The front of a residential building on the Upper West Side fell off, and flooding in Lower Manhattan's Battery Park hit record levels. New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg wasn't surprised by the storm's power.
We knew that this was going to be a very dangerous storm, and the storm has met our expectations.
With the city shut down, David Letterman had to make some changes.
We have no studio audience, but by God, we do have quite a show for you.
Sandy also threw a wrench into the presidential campaign less than a week before the election. President Obama and Republican challenger Mitt Romney had to alter or cancel campaign stops. I'm Ed Payne reporting.
We've seen how much flooding the waters from Sandy have caused, but the storm system is also packing snow. Parts of West Virginia are expected to be about 3 feet deep in white stuff before the storm moves out. Up next, see the sights and hear the sounds of Sandy's snowy side.
The storm system, though, still has an awful lot of punch. This is a still big deal. It has transitioned to a cold storm. That's why it's snowing in West Virginia and Virginia itself.
We were just playing tennis this weekend up here, and it wasn't cold at all, and now it's freezing.
We thought it was going to be a normal old go-to-Florida hurricane, but then we started looking at the weather, and things aren't the same as a normal hurricane. It's pretty bad. We're not used to this kind of stuff.
We're not ready for it, but are you ready for the snow?
No.
It is snowing in West Virginia, Kentucky, parts of Virginia itself, and these very bright spots right through here, Pittsburgh, eastern Ohio, even not that far west of Washington, D.C., those bright spots are not thunderstorms, that's sleet.
That's it for news, but stay tuned. Colton's up next with Newsline Weather.
Good afternoon with Newsline Weather. I'm Colton Yarge. Well, it's still foggy in low-lying levels at this hour, and there's a good chance that we'll get more precipitation this afternoon. So unfortunately, winter seems to be settling in. Currently in Brandon, it is 3 degrees with fog. There's a 60% chance we will see more showers or snowflakes this afternoon. Wind is out of the east at 22 kilometers per hour, gusting to 37 kilometers per hour. Today will be cloudy and temperatures should hover around 6 degrees. There is a 60% chance of showers and winds will be out of the south at 10 kilometers per hour. Today's cloud coverage will turn to fog overnight and temperatures will dip down to 0. There's a 20% chance of continuing showers that will carry over into your Wednesday morning. Winds will be out of the south at 5 kilometers per hour. Taking a look at our satellite image now, as you can see, Brandon should expect to see a good dose of rain or snow with these precipitous cells hanging over our region. Turning to our satellite image, this cloud system from the southwest will make its way over to Manitoba in the coming days, meaning we should expect to see at least some clouds for the most of the rest of the week. Taking a look at our 5-day forecast, tomorrow will be cloudy with a high of 5 and a low of 0. There will be a 40% chance of showers that will drop about 2 millimeters of rain. Winds will be out of the north at 10 kilometers per hour. Thursday will be a mix of sun and cloud with a high of -1 and a low of -9. Winds will be out of the east at 10 kilometers per hour. Friday will see a high of -1 and a low of -6 with a mix of sun and cloud. There will be a 60% chance of precipitation. Winds will be out of the southeast at 10 kilometers per hour. Saturday, yet again, we will see a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 2 with a low of -5. Winds will be out of the north at 10 kilometers per hour. Sunday, the sun will break through with a high of 4 degrees and a low of -3. Winds will be out of the southwest at 15 kilometers per hour. Taking a look around the region, Winnipeg is in at 5. Portage is sitting in at 4 degrees. Meanwhile, Dauphin is sitting at 3 degrees. Neepawa checks in at 1. Carberry is in at 2. Clardy is sitting at 4 degrees. Minnedosa checks in at 3 degrees. And Verdun will round us out at 5 degrees. Seasonal norms for this time of year are a high of 4 degrees and a low of -5. The record high for this date was a gorgeous 23 degrees set back in 1950. Our record low was a frosty -24 set in 1991. Once again, in Brandon, it's foggy and 3 degrees. Winds are out of the east at 22 kilometers per hour, gusting to 37 kilometers per hour. That's it for weather, but stick around. Dylan's up next with Newsline Sports.
Good afternoon with Newsline Sports. I'm Dylan Donald. On Monday, it was announced that Assiniboine Community College is expanding their varsity athletic department come fall of 2013. At a press conference yesterday, ACC President Mark Frison made the announcement that soccer will be added to the varsity sports at the college. The team is an expansion of a department that already offers men's and women's volleyball and basketball as well as a women's hockey team. Since participation in soccer is rapidly increasing in Westman, Frison said it's logical to offer that choice to students and there will be scholarship opportunities for the players. Larry Shannon, athletic director for ACC, is already beginning the search for possible coaches and will be recruiting players as soon as possible. The team will play in the Manitoba Colleges Athletic Conference. The Brandon University Bobcats men's basketball team shouldn't expect to be in contention when the playoffs roll around, according to the Canada West coaches. In the first coaches poll of the season, the Bobcats are ranked in the 11th spot out of the 16 teams in the association. The Bobcats team only received 95 of the vote points, while the University of British Columbia men's team is ranked first overall, garnering 8 out of the 16 first-place votes for a total of 250 points. The Bobcats women's team has been ranked last of all the 16 teams. The Bobcats missed the playoffs last season after going winless in 20 games. However, this season the team has already posted a 5-4 preseason record. No, not that skeleton. That's for Halloween. That's better. Brandon's own Cassie Harish is continuing to shoot up the national skeleton ranks. The 28-year-old will be officially announced later this week as a member of the Canadian World Cup skeleton team. This is Harish's first time on the squad, while Russell's Olympic gold medalist John Montgomery will be returning to the team after taking a full year off from competition. San Francisco quarterback Alex Smith had a nearly perfect night, and so did the 49ers defense. Smith completed 18 of 19 passes for 232 yards and 3 touchdowns, 2 to Michael Crabtree and 1 to Randy Moss in the 49ers' 24-3 win at Arizona. Smith's only incompletion was dropped by a wide open receiver. Moss caught a 47-yard scoring pass, dodging tacklers down the sideline on a play that seemed to turn back the clock to his prime. The Cardinals rushed for 7 yards in 9 attempts against the 49ers, who entered the game with the NFL's top-ranked defense and number 2 against the run. And Randy, that's all for sports.
Thanks, Dylan. And that's all the time we have for you today. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for Brandon's only TV newscast, Westman Newsline.